Hello and welcome to KSP Space program. This is Space Warfare, and in this series we are going to be fighting rival space agencies for control of, space. So let's get right to it. In the last episode we discovered and engaged a Hydrus space station which was in a very similar orbit to our own shipyard. Now, to briefly sum up the battle so far, we managed to completely disable one of their fighters, and they decapitated one of ours, completely separating the pod from the rest of the ship. So if we just roll that footage just now. Now, as you can see here, the torpedo hits the craft and completely separates the rest of the ship from the probe. Although nothing gets destroyed, it does create a few problems, as you can probably tell. Alright, so here we are with this decapitated section of the Ares, and because of the drones which are in the torpedoes, we can still control this. And with RCS we can turn at a reasonable rate. So I have a plan which should allow us to completely destroy their space station. This is going to be fun. So the Phantom retreated back to the station with one torpedo left, presumably to defend it until it can get reinforcements, because I guess it didn't want to spend the last of its munitions on a potentially unsuccessful hit on our station. So let's get down to the plan, shall we? Alright, so because the Ares wreckage is unmanned, but we can still control it, we're going to use it to slam directly into the heart of the station and see how much damage we do. Let's see how this goes. Well, it looks like the Hydrus space station has been completely destroyed. Oh well, I guess that's Hydrus' Space Force dealt with. So I guess that means it's safe to get our transport to go up and collect all of the Phantom pilots that were shot down and see what intel we can get from them. But first we need to rescue Donwin from his pod. So here we are, we've just got our little transport vehicle next to the station. Yeah, so we've just got Donwin out of the pod. Now, I'm not quite sure what we're going to do with the pod, but I'll have to deorbit it somehow, and they've not got the right size docking ports on this craft to deorbit it using this. But anyway, we're having Donwin in the top with the other two Kerbals, because I took one out, because what we're going to do is we're going to have 3 prisoners, I think, in the hitchhiker module in the separate thing, because we don't want to have Donwin in the same sort of area as the newly captured prisoners, because I don't think they would appreciate that very much. Now, I should probably note that I've gone into contact with these pilots, and they've sort of agreed to be taken into custody because they've been running out of supplies in the Phantoms, and Hydrus hasn't exactly come to get them. So I guess they're a bit relieved that they're coming back down to Kerbin instead of slowly watching the life support counter tick down. Anyway, so let's just move on to the last Phantom. Now, I was a bit cautious with retrieving this guy because his Phantom was still entirely intact, and he's armed with a torpedo. So I was quite worried that he might try and shoot the transport down and wait for assistance. But he seems to not be willing to attack the transport while his buddies are in it, so that's good, and has agreed to come into custody. So as we're just landing now, you can see our 3 captors there. It's rather spacious and oh, one of the engines just exploded. Oh well, we don't need any more, I guess. So, now, just to finish the episode off, we are going to get our Juno mothership into a much higher orbit to obviously reduce the risk of it being attacked in battle by Hydrus, and to make sure that when we do our burn to Juno, we've got plenty of time to do it and we don't end up skipping back inside the atmosphere, because that would be a big problem. Unfortunately, we've only got 4 nuclear engines powering us, so it sort of takes a while. But we get there in the end, and we set at about 2 million meter orbit, I think. Yeah. So that's it for this episode, and I guess we will be starting our Juno mission in the next episode. But for now, I'm 80,000 man. Thanks for watching.